First off, I would just like you to introduce yourself. Just tell me a little about yourself outside of the club context.
My name's Milliken Bartlet. I'm 21. My major is elementary ed. I'm going to school to teach elementary students. I was only with College Republicans for 2 semesters. This is my second semester. So even though I'm not an official student at UNCA, I still kind of help Sophie. I monitor the socials, I check the emails, and I still go to meetings when I can. I did 2 semesters, I believe, at UNCA. I wasn't doing as well there as I liked. I think that was a combination of, the pandemic. I think there was a lot of contributing factors. So I disenrolled and then I re-enrolled at my local community college. But I still liked the group and I still wanted to be involved. And we lost a lot of members when a lot of the members graduated. She needed some people to help out. So I kind of offered that even though I'm not an official member, I still kind of am helping in some ways. When I first came, I kind of felt like an odd kid out. I've never been like one of the, in high school, they always have like the cool kids. I was never one of the cool kids. I was kind of like the dorky kid. So I just needed friends, and I thought that that would be a good way for me to, make friends.
What does conservatism or republicanism mean to you personally? Like, how does it affect your own life?
I grew up with two blue collar parents. So I was kind of, so I've always been around it. My dad, he owns his own business, and my mom's a teacher. So I've always been in the middle class, and I've always had like that middle class kind of blue collar parent perspective. But to kind of explain what like being conservative means to me is kind of like asking someone like why they like the color pink. It's kind of hard to explain, but I just feel like it fits me and aligns well with like my beliefs and like what I grew up with.
Are there any particular policies or ideas that Republican politicians or thinkers talk about as it pertains to education that you like?
Nothing really kind of sticks out at me at the moment. I think it's very hard because it's like, I'm not super politically savvy, if that makes any sense. It's like, I know I'm conservative, I know I'm a Republican, but I'm not like, but if you were to lay out a list of like vocab words, I guess, for
Mhm.
lack of a better way of putting it, I wouldn't know like, oh, Marxism means this, this means that. I know that there's been a lot of stir lately about like, how people need to get their kids out of public schools, but it's like, I know a bunch of teachers that, you know, they love their jobs and they don't.
I hear you.
It's a challenge because sometimes the big what's going on like in the big picture doesn't always speak for like the teachers who like love their jobs and mean well. So I feel like that's with a lot of issues. There's been a lot of talk lately about CRT. I mean, I kind of figured I would have to say it eventually.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's none of my business. Whatever ideologies parents want to give their children, that should not interfere with how I teach them. But it's my job to teach kids to have strong critical thinking skills, how to do math, how to do science, how to think for themselves, how to read a passage and break it down. So I feel like it's not my place.
So next, I was just curious to if your beliefs, just your ideology, your philosophy, your politics, if they've changed over the course of your life at all. And I would like to, I'd like to hear about that a little bit if you have any particular instances.
I feel like over my like teen and like my 20s, I'm only 21, so I feel like I'm kind of in that phase where I'm kind of learning more.
Mm.
um I'm kind of, I don't know if they've changed as much as they kind of have like bloomed.
Mm.
Where it's like I'm kind of learning about different people's opinions and different people's perspectives. So it's kind of, I'm kind of at that point where I can kind of see what I agree with and what I don't.
Something that I've been noticing as I've been interviewing different members of the College Republicans Club here on campus is that I'm seeing a little bit of a difference between younger conservatives and older conservatives. And I was just curious as to your thoughts on that, if you have noticed any difference between those two groups.
They have a lot of life experience. If I talk to, a conservative that's, in their 60s or in their 70s, they were around for 9/11. They were around for way more presidencies than I've been around. I hardly remember, Barack Obama getting elected. I hardly remember Bush getting elected. So I think it's the life experience. So I think that they have a lot more layers that they can not compensate for, but they have a lot more life experience that they can apply their opinions to.
Gotcha.
And they didn't also have social media and all these other voices talking at them.
Do you feel like that is a help for their ideology or a hindrance?
I want to say that it was kind of a help because, nowadays I'm taking an English course currently, and we just got done talking about bias and seeing a media bias chart. But, it's so hard to tell nowadays, what's fake, what's real, what's legit, what's not legit. So I want to say that, back in the, I want to say in the old days, but I don't even really know if it was the old days, they didn't have to question, if something was true or not. Because if something was given to them, they could count that it was straightforward.
If you could tell everybody something about the College Republicans Club that's gonna watch this interview series, what would you tell them?
I don't know. I think sometimes people have stigmas about Republicans, and I guess I would kind of have them consider to maybe not reconsider their stigmas.
Okay. I
don't know, because we're really we're smart, we think, and we're good people.